Hello.
That's my foot.
Tis
the foot. I feel weird not having anything in my hands.
Oh, yeah. You can hold on to your vino.
We're celebrating. Nothing.
We are winding down. Well, cheers to us and our 11th episode.
Yes!
Yay.
We're celebrating our 11th episode. We're celebrating me finally nailing down the fucking sound.
Heck yes. It's perfect. I was listening on my way home to Lights Out, and I was thinking about how great it sounded.
Yeah.
I wasn't out of one speaker and you out of the other.
I've nailed it.
I didn't have to crank to full volume. We didn't even take a sip after this.
Oh, no, we didn't. Sorry. Don't listen. It's not for free.
I think that's bad luck if you don't take a sip after cheersing.
Oh.
We're back.
We are back. We also never introduced ourselves after that one episode. So, welcome to Smutswap. I'm Brittany.
I'm Kelly.
She's talking today.
I am talking today.
Listening.
Yes. Well, to start off, what are you reading right now?
First Time Caller, B.K. Borison. That's it.
Same. I'm 13 chapters in.
That's the book club, the Smut Clurb selection.
It is the Smut Clurb book. I don't know. Does it get smutty, though, do you think?
We'll see.
I know there's some dirty jokes that are said, but
We'll see. I don't remember
if it gets dirty.
Love Light Farms or In the Weeds very much.
Really?
Even though I talked about Love Light Farms for a non-released episode of this podcast.
We still have the footage. I will attempt to edit one of these days. Maybe it'll be one that we dabble in on this episode.
I just don't know if her writing's for me. I just think that she's kind of boring.
Oh, are you bored so far?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I think it's so cute.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because I read a book that it kind of reminds me of. The book was called Is She Really Going Out With Him? And it's about these two journalists who work for a magazine. And the woman journalist's children set her up on these dates for her column. And so that's what it's reminding me of, with no spoiler, but you know what I'm talking about. So that's what we're both reading.
I feel like I know how it's already going to end. It's not hard to see
Predictable.
the writing on the wall, but
It's
fine.
there. Is that all you're reading?
That's all I'm reading.
Look at us.
I have 2 other books that I bought last month from a local bookstore. Well, a bookstore in Lake Forest.
That's local.
And I'm going to bring them on the cruise, I think, and try to read them.
Oh.
On that note, Adam is purchasing a book on Amazon to read on the cruise. I know. Adam's not a reader.
Wow.
He gets like stories that have lots of pictures.
Yeah.
Not like children's books, like adult books.
Like manga? Like manga?
Well, like hockey stuff.
Oh, like
and,
magazines?
Like nonfiction.
God, what a dud.
It'd be like, like your coffee table type book.
Yeah.
Like one of those.
Which just fits for his career choice, you
Yeah.
know? It just,
And he made a joke about bringing a book on the cruise, but like have it a picture book.
I love that.
And then he was like, no, I'm actually going to get this one about this guy who played hockey and was like into drugs and how he
Oh.
overcame it. And I'm like, oh, I'll read it when you're
sounds
done.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. So I
Who
forget
is
what
it?
it's called.
Oh, damn. I was like, sorry, the wine.
Are you choking again on juice?
So we went to Cafe Zupa's for this. We're having an adult sleepover tonight, which is why there's
Yay.
wine. And I got, at Cafe Zupa's, they have these Dubai chocolate-covered strawberries, but they don't slice the strawberries up. And even though I'm an adult...
These are like Costco type strawberries.
The
They're
whole
huge.
strawberry is going in my mouth. Okay?
One bite.
One bite, because 2 bites are for pussies.
But these are 2-bite strawberries.
And there are
You know what
definitely
I
2 bite
mean?
strawberries, so the juice like went down my windpipe, and
She was
could not
dying.
stop coughing.
And I couldn't make eye contact with her in the car. I'm like, don't die.
For safety reasons, not
She was
not from embarrassment.
pounding on her chest.
Like like a grown man or something.
I was like, are you okay?
No, I really. And it didn't stop me because I kept just putting the whole fucking strawberries in my mouth.
Oh. Which is a perfect segue to the book that I read.
Let's talk about it.
where
Let's dive in.
the main vixen wants to put things in her mouth that may not fit as well.
Oh, like testicle?
Maybe.
Oh.
So the book I read is called Selected for the Shifters, which is unlike anything I think. I think the closest book this would be to that we've talked about is Jack's Head.
Oh, God.
Because it's just off the wall and pure smut.
It just, the title alone reminds me of Someone commented on my YouTube channel and was like, you should read Ice Planet Barbarians. There are like 75 of those books. I don't have time to read Ice Planet Barbarians, but maybe for this.
I know, it could be funny.
I know.
Like, this isn't something I would have selected for myself, but I know you helped me find it. Because
Yes.
I wanted something shorter that I could read quickly.
She was like, while you're on vacation, Brittany, give me something to read.
Yeah,
And
she
so I
found
picked this for her.
So this book comes courtesy of our friend Brittany here. This is book 1 of the Fae Mate Hunt series. It's a complete series that's described as a spicy reverse harem monster romance novella.
You read a harem?
I mean, this one didn't really seem... Mind you, I think it's like 5 short stories.
Okay.
Like the length of time my Kindle told me it would take to read this was an hour and a half. So it was really short. The harem takes place...
Maybe she's
Later
collecting them
on.
like Pokemon throughout the series.
Maybe. I don't know. There are 6 books in the series, but one book is labeled as 0.5. I think you can read it before this one.
Got it.
So I may go back and read it. I may finish the rest. Maybe we'll talk about them
it.
later. In addition to these 6 books, she has 2 other series. There's a Monster Mate Hunt series and the Playing with Demons series.
Who's the author?
It's written by Sakura Black. Have you heard of her?
Nope.
They're available. I think all of them are on Kindle Unlimited.
If you are still subscribing to Kindle Unlimited,
Are you?
I am.
For now?
For now. For now.
Yeah.
I'm jailbreaking my Kindle. Don't tell Jeff.
I may be also
Yeah.
jailbreaking my Kindle.
Yeah.
That hasn't been plugged in for a long time. I need to plug it in for
It'll
the
be
cruise.
fine.
But the book is really short, 12 chapters, 106 pages.
Nice.
So it didn't take me long at all. Her foreword opens up with some warnings. There's swearing, mild violence, and steamy scenes with multiple partners. And then she says, if you have delicate sensibilities, maybe give this one a hard swerve.
Did your neighbor write this?
No, but she is writing another book.
Oh.
I forget what it's called. I tried to take a screenshot of her Instagram post, but it was one that she sent to me, and I think it was on her story, so you can't take a screenshot for some reason.
Oh.
But I was like,
Whatever.
okay, cool. The dedication is to all the monster lovers out there. Here's hoping you enjoy this walk on the wild side.
Jazz hands.
And then instead of a prologue, this book opens with a blurb.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is what I think she intended with this, is for it to be like what would be on the back of the book. I don't know, but I think it's also used to help us understand this world, because it's from the point of view of a person talking about a hot dream they had with an even hotter fae. Now, because of this dream, she is left with a mark on her body. This mark means she's been selected by the fae, and she will soon be hunted and kidnapped from the human realm.
Okay. My knowledge of Fae is strictly limited to what I learned reading all of the Shadowhunters books.
Okay. Which I still need to read. Are
You
those the
do.
ones you tell me I need to read?
They're YA, but yes, you should read
Okay.
them. And you can borrow mine anytime. And I look forward to when her newest trilogy of books comes out.
Will they also be YA?
Yes.
Okay.
All I know about Fae is that you cannot eat or drink anything in Fae, or you are trapped there forever. And there's also a wild hunt, and it's in the sky. Those are like the
Oh,
sky Fae.
okay.
That's all I know.
all right.
So,
There's also Fae in like a Court of Thorns and Roses series. Throne of Glass. I think they all have their own like definition. I don't know. This one wasn't too much world building. You kind of just were thrown in. The government has signed away the rights to any human who participates in the hunt. So if you're marked and you're a human, the government's like, oh, sorry about it.
oh, okay. If your passport doesn't match your birth certificate, you don't get to vote in America anymore.
Right. Yes. All this hoo-ha lands me in Fairy, running for my life in a mysterious hunt in a see-through dress. This is also
See-through?
part of the blurb.
Oh.
Monsters end up chasing this woman, and she ends up cornered by a delightful pack of Fae wolf shifters who look fiercely hungry, but not for food. Sorry,
Oh.
that's the blurb, though, which
Oh, okay.
I think should have been on the back of the book, not kind of thrown in
Because
like
when you said like blurb, I was thinking
a
like
prologue.
Well, no, I was thinking like The Risk, how she had quotes from Albert Einstein at the beginning of chapters
That we didn't read.
That we didn't read.
All of. Sorry. I don't know.
Anyway.
And I put after chapter 1. So the blurb is the same as the back of the book, I think? Question mark?
Okay. ... question mark.
Because we start chapter 1 and we talked about a dream in the blurb, but in chapter 1 she tells us she's in the dream. So this chapter is all about the woman's dream. I think her name is Shathan, but I'm not sure yet. This woman finds herself in a dreamlike state. Everything is black, like she's in a void. But she feels soft, silky fur brushing against her body. The fur is pleasant because she wants to rub her body against it like a cat.
Oh, specific, like a cat.
Just like a cat.
I was going to say, is it my leg hair? I haven't shaved them in a while.
I was going to say something dirty like we did in our...
Oh, yeah, TikTok doesn't like that.
It's fine. She hears two male voices conversing. One says, "This could be the perfect queen for our people. Her essence calls to me. Strong-willed and fierce. There's a wildness to her, and she could be amongst our choices."
So,
yeah, what do you get from that?
Okay, I think that we meant aura, not essence, because essence is something that you smell. But what they described is what I would say is aura.
That's what she wrote.
Okay.
That's what she
Who
wrote.
am I? I haven't written a book, so...
That's right.
Don't listen to me.
But maybe
Maybe.
soon.
Maybe.
This male is of power. As the other male says to him, "My liege, all the invites have been sent."
He's alpha.
Yes. There's some bickering, and we learn the other male is named Balthaz. I think it's supposed to be like Balthazar, but she shortened it. It doesn't matter anyways because this character is never heard from again.
In this book, so...
Right, in this book. So maybe in the other book, 0.5 or...
He's a peon. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. He agrees to tell the council of the other male's decision to possibly mark this woman. The woman then begins to be able to see, and she finds herself in the middle of a meadow. She's surrounded by flowers. The air is sweet-smelling. There's also a man in front of her wearing nothing but boxers.
Is he sparkling in the sun?
We can pretend he is. She didn't say
Is
that.
his name Robert Pattinson?
Ed or Ed?
Edward?
He's described as being tall and muscular, six-pack abs, lightly tanned skin. Our vixen's mouth is watering at the sight of him. He's described as looking like a vampire, and he's wearing a crown that looks like it's made from bones. So not only is he wearing boxers,
He's got his crown of bones.
he smiles at her and shows off his razor-sharp fangs. He then narrates how beautiful she is. "You look divine. Beautiful, angular face.
Out loud?
Bright forest eyes, creamy skin, glossy caramel hair, and just the right amount of curves. This chick is like me?" She looks down and finds herself in a skin-hugging dress, fancier than anything she owns.
Oh, it's not sheer?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Just wait, not yet.
Okay.
They're kind of there and just staring at each other in this meadow. He gets close enough to her that there's no space between them, and she's like, "This is a really weird dream." And he tells her it's about to get weirder, and he kisses her. Gasp.
Scandal!
And she's not had action in a while, so she's like, hell yeah. She kind of molds her body to his, just kind of melts into him. And he's like, "Oh, so eager already." And she's like,
"My sweet."
and she's like, "Yeah, take your pants off."
Lose them. The boxers, get them out of here.
Which is funny that she says trousers because they also said previously he was in boxers. I don't know.
Well, it's a dream. You know how in dreams, like, things just rapidly change?
Oh, yeah.
His pants just...
He went from, like, boxers to full suit.
Oh, when she looked down at the dress, probably is what happened. She looked down and was like, "Oh, this beautiful dress." And then he was fully clothed.
Formal wear.
Formal wear. It's like the Beast and Belle at the ball or whatever.
Sure. Just like
In the meadow.
So they giggle and laugh, and then he asks to taste her. She consents, and he starts to pull her in for a kiss, and instead brushes her hair from her neck and sinks his teeth into her.
He asks for permission to taste her after he's already kissed her.
Yes.
Got it.
It's great.
Got it.
It's pretty great. So he sinks his teeth into her. The pain turns to pleasure quickly. And she's quickly leaning into him and getting... Like, it was painful, but then the more he, like, sucks on her neck, the more turned on she gets. It's happening.
Yeah.
And he, like, can't stop. And then he, like, suddenly realizes that the blood loss is affecting her. So he stops.
This is literally like Twilight fanfic. Anyway.
It probably is. He, like, stands her up because she's kind of wobbling a little bit. He tells her that she tastes delicious, and she responds by saying, "You should see where else I taste delicious."
God, girl. Damn.
Thirsty.
Damn.
The man then is, like, disturbed by something in the distance and tells her he needs to leave. He asks Balthaz to mark her, and then there's a blinding white light as she begins to wake up.
Damn.
Yeah.
She's probably punching the air like, God, couldn't stay in the dream longer.
God damn it. So the lovely lady awakens in her bed to a warm and wet feeling across her wrist and between her legs.
Ooh!
And there's a roughness motion that is repeated, and it's moving higher up her forearm, and there's like a sharp pinching against her skin. So she fully wakes up, sits upright, and upon her wrist she finds marks. And it either looks like vampire teeth have bit her, or like the shape of vampire teeth. It's not really clear in the right.
All I can picture is like, you know, the little kid, like, vampire fangs that you get for Halloween. That's what I picture.
I picture like the full mouth for some reason as the mark on her forearm. Even though she just had this dream, she still looks around her room to see if some wild beast has somehow gotten into her apartment.
As you do.
But her window's closed, the bedroom door's closed. She looks under her bed and there's nothing there. She's not quite sure what to make of the mark and decides she might as well just get up and go make herself some coffee.
That's what I would do.
She's like, not sure what to do with this shit, but...
Coffee first and problems later.
As she turns on the coffee maker, she hears her roommate come into the house. And we quickly learn that her roommate, Micah, is Fae. And she is not. So she's like a quarter of Fae, and he's like full Fae.
Oh, so her roommate's a man?
Yes.
Ah.
Her roommate is described as being, and we'll get more into like this world and how it works. So just sit tight.
Don't go anywhere.
Yes,
Stay
here. Her roommate's described as being blonde with pale skin, ice blue eyes, a towering frame, trimmed beard. He looks like a cross between a Norse Viking and a runway model. So watch out. Again, this is the only time we ever hear of him, so maybe he'll show up in another book.
He's one of her harem.
Yes, in another book. She and Micah were out partying last night. She ended up coming home at 3 a.m., and he is just now getting into the house hours later. He assists her with making coffee and goes to hand her a mug. And as he does this, he sees the mark on her wrist. And he's like, the fuck?
The fuck?
The fuck? He's like, how'd you get this mark? And asks if something bit her. She said no. Some time passes and Micah tells her that she has been marked. Like, they're just kind of standing there staring at each other, and he's like, you've been marked.
She's like, cool, can I drink my coffee now?
Can I have my coffee?
Damn.
Cream and sugar, please. She's like, okay, so what the fuck does it mean? He responds, a dreamwalker has found you and chosen you. I can't speak English. And chosen you.
She's having a stroke.
I've had one glass of wine.
Not a whole bottle.
And then he tells her, you're Shathan.
Okay. Cool, dog.
And I don't know what that means again. They call her that a lot in this book, even though her real name is Paisley.
Oh!
And Paisley is like, I don't know what I'm selected for, but okay. I mean, there is talk of the hunt, but normally if you are invited to whatever this hunt is, you get an invitation. You're not bitten on the arm by a dreamwalker. We learn that this world is a bit like the Hunger Games. The Fae and humans have battled for decades, and to keep the peace, the humans agreed to let the Fae select humans for something that is called the hunt. Once they are selected, the government doesn't give a shit about you anymore, and you're signed off on. No more rights for you.
This is America.
In this day and age, most people get invitations, but being marked is an old custom. I guess the way the Fae got into this world is there was a tear in dimension decades ago, and Fae started slipping through. And while there were wars and battle for a while, now they just kind of coexist. It kind of reminds me of what's one of those, that new movie? I feel like Disney put it out, and there's like the centaur, and they're looking for something, and there's like a dad, but only the bottom half of them can be seen. It's like some animated
movie. Oh my gosh,
movie.
yes, I know what you're talking about.
Why can't I think of what it's called?
It has Tom Holland in it and Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Leave a comment below.
Yeah, I know what it is. They're like blue
Yeah. But this reminds me of that. Because it's humans, and then you have like all these fake creatures just walking around and coexisting.
It's really bothering me that I can't think of what it's called.
And I think it's something like that doesn't even go with the movie. I think it's like, we'll Google it. We'll figure it out. Sorry, I had to scroll. I turned the thing one time and it went to the very top.
As your iPad does.
Yes. Okay, Paisley herself is a quarter shifter, but has never been able to shift into any sort of shape. Paisley descends down the stairs of her apartment in order to go to work. Sorry, I'm kind of skipping ahead.
It's
At
fine.
one point, she passes a bunch of cigarette butts on the stairs, and she mentions that these are highly illegal.
Wow.
Not sure if this will even matter later in the story, but we'll see. As she gets to the bottom floor of her apartment building, she does see that she has a really thick envelope in her mailbox, and she thinks this is probably the actual, like, formal invitation. And she's like, nope, and turns on her heels and walks out.
She's like, bye.
She's like, I didn't sign up for this shit.
If I don't read it, I'm not really invited.
Right. She catches the bus to work, gets stuck in traffic, and is late. She's scolded by her boss because I guess this is something that happens quite frequently. As she's at work, she speaks with one of her coworkers. That's actually one of her really good friends. Imagine that. Meeting friends at work.
Meeting your best friends at work.
She yapped, I yapped, and here we yap some
The
more.
end. The end.
This coworker / bestie is some sort of like forest nymph. So she's like green in color, long green hair. She's like blue lips, but it's fine. This is normal. They just work together. They talk about going to some, when you get to work and it's like 9 a.m. and you're like, what are we doing for lunch?
Yeah.
They had an experience like this.
Yep, every day.
So they decide they're going to go to some new like salad place. Paisley's coworker, her name is Newberry. She tells her that the royal fae are in town and there's something going on, so maybe they'll see them at this restaurant. Paisley says she's a vegetarian, but this doesn't stop her friend Newberry from joking about the sausage Paisley could have had the night before. I guess she was also out at the club with Paisley and her roommate, and Paisley was dancing with some vampire creature.
She could have had his sausage.
Paisley claims she didn't go home with this vampire make out with him because he looked a little too bitey.
Oh, well, bitch, how did you get the bite mark on your wrist?
I know. Maybe she just really liked this guy and
like,
manifested this
have a
dream.
taste.
Drink from me.
Taste me.
All right, so Newberry and Paisley leave the office. They head to lunch. We learn at this point that they are in London. They walk through the city, and it is said that it is bustling with people who are also hungry little maniacs in search of lunch. I don't know. As they walk, Newberry tells Paisley that she has a magnet for monsters, and apparently these royal fays are monsters in the sack. So they're really hoping that they run into this bunch of royal characters at the restaurant. Newberry needs to get laid.
Newberry has to dust those cobwebs off her limbs or whatever.
And I guess not only are they monsters in the sack, but sometimes they'll take on different forms while mid-coitus.
Just imagine, like, it turns into a squid.
Like tentacle porn?
Yeah.
Are you imagining?
Yeah.
What is that called? Is it called tentacle porn? Two are really good friends, but Paisley is not comfortable enough yet to open up about her being marked. So she kind of keeps this a secret. She's
Wow.
wearing long sleeves today.
A secret from your best friend? What's that like? Ugh.
Rude. How could she?
Jeez.
And then she wonders to herself how much time she has left hanging out with her best friend, because at some point she will be taken to this other world, and we don't know when that's going to happen.
I forgot that, because you have no rights once you're in the home. Yeah, so she'll be banished.
She'll be banished. She's really nervous about what may happen to her. And I took a quote from the book. Nobody knew how long it took for a selected to be kidnapped. It seemed to vary at random, but two things were certain. They were all taken, and none of them ever returned. The girl and her fantasy creature friend finally get to the restaurant. It ends up being nicer and fancier than what Paisley thought it would be. Newberry admits that she didn't let on how fancy it was because she knew Paisley wouldn't want to go. I guess she's really not the fancy type. So they go inside, and Newberry's expecting Paisley to turn into a royal biatch. But Paisley doesn't say a word because all she can think about is the mark and possibly being taken. So she's like being real chill about it. Newberry's like, what's up?
Nothing.
He's like, nothing. It's fine. As soon as this happens, a hush falls over the restaurant because a group of Fae males with red coral-tinted skin saunter into the restaurant like they own the place. Everybody watches in awe from their tables.
Oh.
So the royal Fae have shown up.
And they're coral.
In their coral-tinted skin. The royals were stunning in a brutal way. High, angular cheekbones and feline-shaped eyes. A curious set of onyx horns peeked out above their hair, and long, smooth tails in a darker red, raised and swaying behind them with each step.
Are their tails furry, or...
I just imagine them looking like demonic.
Yeah, me too.
Like red with like the little pointy thing at the end.
Yep, okay. Just making sure that we're all on the same page.
I mean, when there's like horns described.
You just think devil.
And Paisley thinks to herself that the Fae resemble devils more than they do creatures. Two of them appear to be identical twins. They are both super muscular with biceps as large as Paisley's head.
I thought that I was the only person who described people's body parts in terms of how big I am.
Nope, Paisley does too.
I was like, you remember him? His bicep is as big as my body. And Corey's like, that's not hard.
You're like, okay.
I was like, wow, thanks. So you're calling me skinny?
And the three men are described as wearing suits that are so tight they look like they could bust at the seams. Hey, whatever does it for you.
I guess. I just picture the Hulk like ripping out of his little shorts.
And then, so you know the guy Anger from
Yep.
what the fuck's it
Inside
called?
Out.
Inside Out, who's like red and then it's like fiery in color.
Yep.
That's how these guys are described.
Yep.
Like their skin is like a red coral color, but I guess their hair is like supposed to look like fire. It's crimson at the roots, and as it grows out, it grows from orange to yellow to white at the very tips.
Okay.
So I just picture the little guy from Inside Out.
Or like the little sprite girl from Elemental. Did you watch that one? Yeah.
Yes, that too.
Little fire sprite.
Maybe she's just thrown all these books together.
Yep. She's like, all these ideas.
For motivation.
Here we are.
Let's get really descriptive and then they'll have sex. Paisley thinks to herself about the other guy. I guess he's also really buff and he looks like he could snap her in half or throw her around the bedroom. Yum.
My favorite.
And the third guy's also described as looking like a rich playboy. He's taller and leaner with slicked back black hair. Paisley wonders what it would be like to give all three of them a go, if you know what I mean.
At once?
And wonders if harems really happen outside of romance books. I don't know. Leave a comment below.
Let us know about your harem.
The ladies order food, chit-chat, and as soon as Paisley goes to take a bite, one of the males leans over and asks her about the mark on the wrist.
Bitch, what the fuck?
And she's wearing long sleeves, so he shouldn't be able to see it. But somehow with his crazy Fae magic, he's able to somehow know that it's there, I guess. Paisley's so caught off guard she can't answer. The male asks her if she knows what the mark means, and again, she doesn't respond. The man then tells her that he finds her really attractive and would like to meet up with her later.
Oh my God.
Just changes the subject immediately. And then Paisley decides maybe hanging out with them would be okay because he knows what the mark means, so maybe she can gain some intel.
What the fuck? You could just go ask your roommate.
Ask your
my God.
Or your bestie.
Oh
She is
my God.
a Fae creature too.
Babe. Stranger danger. What the fuck? Okay. Mm-hmm.
She's also nervous about the hunt and not sure if she'll survive much longer, so why not hang out with a handsome guy?
Who the fuck cares if all your rights are being stripped?
Just go get laid. It's fine.
No one cares. Standards where?
Is he clean? We don't know.
Fae can't have STDs, don't you?
Oh yeah, they're magical. You're right. So she agrees to hang out, and the guy tells her that he and his brothers will find her later. Paisley is like, what? Your brothers too? And then he takes this as a chance to introduce himself and his brothers, who, again, we never hear of them again. Maybe another book. But Pascan, Zavix, and Carax are their names, if you care. But Newberry introduces herself to the men as well. She's kind of like, hey,
Hey.
I'm Newberry.
Hey, I'm Newberry.
I attract monsters.
My skin's green.
My skin's green. I'm a forest nymph.
She's like twirling her hair.
Paisley promises to tell Newberry the tea after they leave about the mark on her arm because
Newberry's like, bitch, what the fuck?
Like, what the fuck?
You didn't tell me?
And as they walk out, Carax gives Paisley this flirty little wave. And then she waves back, and then she chastises herself for being too friendly to a man she hardly knows.
Yeah, being friendly to men?
Fuck that.
Ew.
In this economy?
Ew.
So on that note, Brittany and I, as we're buying the wine earlier, I'm very polite, I guess. Over polite.
Kelly's very polite and super cognizant of her surroundings, whereas...
Too cognizant, though.
Whereas I'm not.
And I said, excuse me.
She said, excuse us. And I said, we don't say excuse me to men. I'm sure that he heard us, too.
I hope he did. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I'll stop that immediately.
Bearing in mind, not that it matters, but like, especially where we are is a little more hillbilly-ish, a little more
white trash?
Red than where I live.
Oh, you're
if
right.
You catch my drift.
I do think, yeah.
Whereas my attitude can slide in Illinois, my attitude can't really slide in Wisconsin.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe he thought I was joking. I wasn't joking. I
100% serious.
Walk through.
100.
No,
100.
excuse me. Part the sea for me, gentlemen.
Move.
Bitch, get out the way.
Get out the way, bitch. Okay, the ladies leave lunch and start to stroll back to work. Paisley sees this beautiful Fae lady, like, kind of up the road a little bit, and she's leaning against the bricks of this building. She's wearing a white see-through dress that you can see her undergarments through.
Oh, she was wearing undergarments?
She is.
Oh.
And she has, like, stick-straight pink hair that goes all the way down to her waist. And she's labeled as being beautiful, but with a weird nose. But the nose isn't weird enough to take away from her beauty. I don't know. That's what they wrote.
Oh, okay.
She is staring directly at Paisley. And Paisley looks at Newberry and she's like, do you see this woman, or am I having, like, a mental breakdown? And Newberry's like, her?
Who, her? Right there with the pink hair and the weird nose?
And the undergarments showing straight through her dress. And she's like, her? Yeah, she's a royal Fae bounty hunter.
Oh, good.
It's weird that she's here because she'd only be here if... Then she realizes that her friend has been marked. Paisley confirms, and somehow that magical, it autocorrected to fat, Fae woman ends up, like, somehow getting directly next to them, and she makes a comment that there's something special about Paisley, and that's why she's been selected.
Oh, good.
And then this part kind of made me laugh because Newberry's like, no, you can't take her.
She's mine.
And she's like, she's only a child. And Paisley's like, thinking to herself, well, I'm actually 27. But thanks for the sentiment, bestie.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It was so random.
Well, I'm actually 27. I'm 27. I have no prospects. Oh my God.
So Newberry and the Fae lady kind of like argue back and forth for a little bit, and Newberry decides to tackle the woman, and then she's like, Paisley, run. So Paisley wastes no time and sprints down the sidewalk, pushing through people and vendors.
She didn't say excuse me.
She did not. The wind caressed my face as I ran, my lungs expanding rapidly as my thigh muscles strained. I don't know. I thought that was important. I don't know why now. Why did I put that in here? Paisley runs through an alley, and then there's this whoosh sound, and the Fae lady is flying through the air. Now she has wings, and she lands in the alleyway. She tells Paisley to stop running, and Paisley's like, not today, Satan. And she pulls a 180 and tries running in the opposite direction.
A bitch has wings.
I know. She's going to get you. And she does. She is tackled instantly and feels pain radiating through her whole body as she smacks her face into the ground.
No shit.
The woman then takes her hand and, like, she's, like, on top of her, like, holding her down, but she puts her hand on her face. The Fae lady puts her hand on Paisley's face and heals her. All of her bruises at once.
Wow. Can you come heal my trauma?
Same. And mine, while you're at it. 2 for 1. Paisley tries to wrestle her off, and then she does something else with her magic to make Paisley fall asleep, right before telling her that she's the last person they need, and the hunt is set to begin.
Oh.
All right, so next chapter, Paisley awakens, and she is in a beautiful wood-paneled room. She's laying in the most comfortable bed under the most soft... I don't know what I'm trying to say. 1 glass of wine. I haven't drank in a while.
Oh, my goodness.
But she's laying on this really comfy bed. She has this really soft blanket on top of her. She contemplates stealing it to take it back to her apartment, even though it's said you're never going to get back to your
You're never going back to your
world.
apartment. I hope that you love your new home in the wood-paneled room.
Yeah, enjoy it while you can. She sits upright in bed, then her door flies open, and a group of women enter the room. They are described as being from different castes, and I guess there's like these different castes in this world. I don't know.
Of course there is.
There's a lot of information. Some women are tall, some are beautiful, others small and stout. Some have feathers, some have scales. One has a shell on her back.
Okay, so they're just like different types of fae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come in, and they're all pulling trunks behind them, and they're here to get Paisley ready for the hunt. So the lady with the pink hair walks in as well, and Paisley's like, get the fuck out.
What are you doing here, bitch?
Get away from me. She then gets up. She tries to put some space between her and the pink-haired woman. And as she does this, she looks down and sees that she's wearing this see-through white, like, baby doll type lingerie set. And you can see her undergarments through it, which leave little to the imagination.
Oh, no.
Because she's wearing, like, a see-through thong and, like, some flower.
Lacy bralette. Her nipples are like...
Full attention. And she's like, the fuck? And then the pink-haired lady says to her, let me explain. You're now in Fairy, the Fae realm, and your old life is behind you. As one of the selected, you're a citizen of this land and under her protection. Your government has signed away your future to us, but your fate is what you make of it. Tonight begins the hunt, but the choice to be prey or predator is yours.
Oh.
I don't know. Paisley tries to leave, but the bubblegum hair lady grabs her by the waist and tells her not to fight this. She says, you're going to ruin our future friendship. You need to just accept this. It'll all be fine. Paisley keeps fighting, and the pink-haired lady lets her know that in addition to the spells they already planned to put on her, they're going to put more on her to make her chill and happy and calm down. In addition to these spells, one of them is going to be an anti-fertility spell.
Oh, good. Wonderful.
So she does some magic. Paisley starts to get the giggles and feel way too happy than she's used to. I could use some of that.
Euphoria.
And then she kind of worries to herself about the anti-fertility because this alludes to the fact that some dirty deeds may happen later.
Yeah, girl. What the hell do you think?
What is happening? She also receives the chloroform level of magic again, and it passes out immediately. All right, so the next chapter, Paisley awakens, and she's lying on the grass. It's nighttime, but not our typical nighttime here in our world. It's like some fairy-type cutesy shit. Like, the nighttime sky is beautiful. There's, like, glowing orbs all over the place. I don't know. It's just described as being beautiful. She's still wearing her see-through lingerie dress, and she's kind of walking around the forest trying to figure out what's going on. And as she's walking around, she looks in the distance and she sees this white, I want to say white man. A white man.
A white man? No!
I'm gonna cry. She sees this bright light, and it is I guess this guy's really pale, and he's running towards her at full speed, and she thinks he's coming for her, but he's really just running away from something. So he's terrified, and he's running.
The criminals from the statistics?
Please watch New Girl so
please,
you know what we're talking about.
I'm so sorry.
From the statistics.
It's the criminals from the statistics. I can't even.
It's the one. So he's like, they're coming, and he runs, and she jumps behind a tree. She screams fuck real loud. Paisley runs, And as she runs, she can hear howling and yipping and what sounds like a pack of wolves following her. She then gets knocked from the side and rolls onto the ground and is pinned down by one of the werewolf-looking forms. Like, I guess it's like werewolf/humanoid.
They're shifters.
They're shifters. Remember, this is selected for the shifters. And again, she's wearing next to nothing. Everything is see-through, so it really doesn't do much. And this wolf starts licking her from the neck down to her chest. So she kind of fights him off. But as she gets up to run, she bumps into another shifter.
Oh, no.
There's two of them there, and he pins her down. Then he shifts into a humanoid form, and he's completely naked, and she can see his manhood growing with excitement, weeping tip and all. He tells her that one rule of the hunt is that they are to find the one that is selected. If they find someone that's selected, they are able to sample them.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, we know what sample means, but our Paisley girl can't help but feel turned on by this. She's into it.
Have you no shame?
It doesn't take a genius to know what he meant by sample me. His hot and heavy manhood was dripping, his intentions loud and clear.
Not dripping his intentions.
There's lots of dripping intentions in this book.
Oh.
Like, just wait. Just wait. We're nearing the end, but just wait. Okay, so I kind of sit at this next part.
I'm just
Do you hear our dogs? If you can hear something,
you won't hear them, but the dogs are running crazily directly overhead.
You know, when you're upstairs as a child and your parents are like, it's like a herd of elephants up there. That's what it's like.
It is. I know that it's Peach.
Boys and girls, settle. One of the males forces himself upon her, and they begin making out, which she consents to. And then one of the other males rips her panties off and starts going down on her.
Did she consent to that?
No, but she didn't say no. She was into it. And here's the part that threw me off. Just wait, don't take a sip yet. Because, so, the guy that's making out with her is straddling the guy that's going down on her, and it's mentioned that his balls are resting on the other guy's cheek. I was like, what?
Maybe I'll have two boyfriends, and they'll also be boyfriends.
Yes, exactly. And I'm like, what in tarnation?
What the fuck?
So the guy making out with her, she refers to him as Red, and I think he has like red fur. Mm-hmm. Because later on they reveal his name, and I got really confused. But so Red stops kissing her right before she's about to climax from the other guy going down on her, who's named Rhaegar. And then he sinks his fangs into her neck and begins to feed off of her. And I guess with the double...
Penetration? It's not penetration.
I know, I want to say penetration. The feeling. She has a huge orgasm. The dogs.
The dogs.
It's probably just Peach, honestly, playing soccer with herself or something. So they talk about how perfect she is and how great she tastes and all that fun stuff. Red, we find out, is the alpha male. And he decides that he then wants to go down on her and taste her as well before penetrating her with his penis.
Oh my god, his penis.
Which again is just hanging out, weeping.
On his brother's face.
Yeah, just teabagging his brother. Paisley thinks she's too big. Obviously, this thing's been all up in her face. And she makes this comment audibly. And he tells her that he needs her to consent, to which she nods her head.
Ah, yes, my favorite consent.
Yeah, it'll do. Red then tells Rhaegar to grab her legs. So Rhaegar comes behind her, but he's standing. So then he's teabagging her.
Oh my god!
In this process, which is they don't say teabag, but it's like I look up and I can see his balls hanging above my face.
Oh god! All I can think of is Abby.
Oh my god. Our friend Abby used to joke about this
old man's
guy who we worked with and his balls being extra long and slapping against his thighs. I didn't even think about that.
That's all I can think of.
So as Rhaegar is holding her legs, Red goes down on, what's her name?
Paisley.
I wanted to say Paisley, and I'm like, that's not right.
Paisley.
And Rhaegar is watching and so aroused that some pre-cum drips down onto Paisley's cheek. It's fine, though. So Red then starts talking to Paisley before penetrating her and tells her that he may have to share her with his whole pack after this.
How many are there?
And Paisley is like back with her legs spread, and she can hear all these wolves in the wood around her.
Just circling like the coyotes in my neighborhood.
And I guess for some reason they all sound aroused, so I don't know if they're all just moaning together.
Those dogs on those TikToks that we were watching.
They're just making weird human-like sounds. And I'm sorry, I have failed to mention that during this they have shifted to more of a humanoid form. Okay. So now they look more like the devil people because they have horns. They still have their tails.
Their pointy devil tails.
I don't know. They're still kind of furry, but not furry palms. It was specified. So Paisley can hear all the wolves around them. She wonders how many of them are watching. And Paisley starts kind of thinking of a plan of what she could do if she wanted to run. But then she realizes, no, this is fine. I don't want to run.
I want them to run a train on me.
Yes, she does. She's kind of like giving into the whole lore of this world, which is, I guess, just trains.
Hey, prey or predator, I guess. Whatever that means.
Wants to be preyed on. She's looking at Red's cock and thinking it's way too big to fit inside of her because this wouldn't be smart. What did I say? She is looking at Red's cock and thinking it is way too big to fit inside of her because this wouldn't be smart if it wasn't the biggest cock she had ever seen. I don't know.
I guess.
Sure. There was no way that thing was going to fit, but damn it, a part of me wanted him to try anyway.
Well, he's gonna.
I'd always been ambitious, or at least that's what it said on my resume. Direct quote.
Ambitious.
Sure. The next chapter is full on filth. I don't know if there's I got confused with the name change, but we do learn that the alpha is known as Vivain. He is now mounting. I changed the name to Lucy, which is from the name change. He is mounting Paisley while Raquel is holding her legs up. I'll save you the juicy details, but they end up having sex. He has Raquel entice Paisley more by playing with her nipples. And then this other guy who's known as the Omega, which is like the bottom of the food chain of wolf packs.
Oh, trust me, I know what an Omega is.
Yeah. I guess they eat after the rest of the pack.
Yep, he's last.
Like everything comes last for them.
He's the caboose.
But he is also there. And the alpha is like, well, after I come into her, he can have it.
Got it.
He can drink it, if you know what I mean.
Ugh.
Rhaegar is still holding the legs, even though he's kind of titillating her nips. He continues to drop
his tip continues to weep
onto her face, and this time she is so excited that she licks it off of her lips. So this stuff goes on for a little while. The Omega is told that she can orally stimulate Paisley, because I guess the guy is so big that he's like, I guess if you help stimulate her, maybe I'll be able to fit in all the way. You're welcome. Mm-hmm. At this point, Paisley's being touched in some capacity by 3 of these wolf demon shifters.
At what point are we touched out, girl?
I don't know. She can't get enough. The Fae were quickly unraveling me. I hungered for these men, and I'd only just met them. Being hunted through an enchanted forest was hardly a typical meet cute, though.
No, you're right.
So Paisley climaxes again, and then everybody stops touching her except for the alpha. She kind of whines a little bit, and the alpha grabs her by the mouth and is like, no, you will only whine for me.
God damn.
And he's like, you can only cry for me. You're alpha. And he makes her verbally agree.
Oh, no head nodding for this one. You have to explicitly say yes.
Yes. Meanwhile, his hand is still in her mouth, so she mumbles her consent. And then at this point, because Rhaegar and the Omega are no longer touching her, they decide to start having sex. These 2 boy shifters.
With each other?
Yeah.
I told you, what if my boyfriends were also boyfriends?
Yes. And turns out
they are.
So, and they all have tails, so imagine one being bent over and the other one lifts his little tail up.
Yep.
It's so cute.
Very cutesy.
I don't judge. I was a little surprised, though, when it, quickly turned to that. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So stuff continues on for a while. Paisley can barely contain the elf is wienering due to the massive size of him. He tells her at one point to stop wiggling around like a rabbit. He says he won't hurt her, which is against the rules of the hunt, even if some creatures choose to hurt others.
Naughty! You're breaking the
Selected.
rule.
They both climax together, and she is left laying there exhausted. The Omega then takes his place between her legs and laps up the leftovers. Ugh. Ick.
Ugh.
We end this book with more creatures coming out of the woods, like they are ready to take a turn. And one onyx shapeshifter is kind of laughing with this deep-throated laugh. Just like that.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "You're ready for me?"
And
that's
the end.
And that's all.
And that's not all she wrote. There are more books.
Yes,
but that's all she wrote for this book.
Yes, and I may read them.
Okay.
And do like a quick synopsis.
Yeah. Huh.
If you're feeling intrigued,
You're feeling a little saucy.
a little saucy, you want some shapeshifters in your life. I did go onto Fable, and I found the reviews of this book.
Okay.
There's not many. I have 2 5 stars. This very good. I like Paisley. She seems the sassy type. Can't wait to read the next book. Can't wait to see what happens next. I have a 1 star. Where's my taser?
Yeah.
And then I have a 3 star. Pure smut. Ha ha ha.
Yep. Ha ha ha.
And that's pretty much the gist of the reviews. There weren't many.
I believe that.
Yeah. A lot of them were just like a rating and no actual review.
I need to do better about reviewing instead of just rating them. I need to like type a little, even if it's just 1 sentence.
Yeah.
Did just finish Hopeless by Elsie Silver. I read the entire Chestnut Springs series. I read 1 last year, so I read the other 4. Hopeless was my least favorite because it's about the middle brother, Beau. And Beau is like special forces in the Canadian military. And so it's kind of about him having like PTSD. And I was like, as somebody whose husband is currently in the military, I don't really want to read about PTSD.
Yeah.
And also his woman was 13 years younger than him.
Oh, really?
And it's a small town. So he's quite literally known her his entire life.
Which kind of feels like grooming.
It does, but he was 13 when she was born. Like, never went to school together and, like, enlists in the military when he is young still. Still, I'm like, it's a small town.
I mean, everybody knows everybody.
Right.
Yeah, that feels a little ick.
Yeah. And I just couldn't get over that. It was really just too bad. It's okay.
Kind of like, I mean, I have not written a book.
Me either.
And some people, go in search of books like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little entertaining, but
What would you rate it?
I was really confused a lot of the time. I gave it 1 star.
Oh my God. And yet you gave your neighbor's book 3.
Okay.
Out of niceties.
Again,
A neighborly 3.
A neighborly 3. And we'll leave it at that. I didn't write any review
She did
because...
not. And you all will never know what the title is unless you follow Kelly on Fable, and then you might be able to figure it out.
Yes, because it's my only 3-star book without a review.
Yeah.
Because normally I write a review.
You do.
I like go on and on and on my reviews.
I stalk you.
Do you?
Yeah.
I stalked you earlier because I'm like, if this is really short, I'm going to read Brittany's 1-star review. And I couldn't find any on Fable.
I haven't had any 1-star reviews on Fable.
Yeah, I think everything was 3 and higher.
Dude, my average this year is 4.
Wow.
I don't know who she is.
It's Brittany, bitch.
It's me. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's search-related.
Maybe.
Okay, well, we're going to go so we can... Well, I want to change into jammies.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
We're going to go rot on my couch.
We are. So if you're not watching the YouTube video, watch the YouTube video.
Please.
Please. Or just listen on Spotify. Leave us rating because we don't have any. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on TikTok because I've been busting my ass to put TikToks out.
She's been busting herself, busting herself.
I've been busting myself.
You've been busting yourself.
I have.
She's been busting her ass.
I have.
For this channel. She's pretty amazing.
I've been working my butt off. So all of you 1,600 people who watched my one short, The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Like it. Or dislike it. Engage.
Yes, please. We beg of you.
I'm literally just a girl asking you to pick us, choose us, love us.
Laugh with us.
Laugh with us. Laugh until you cry with us.
Yes.
Okay? That's all.
Quote New Girl at us. Okay? We'll laugh with you.
We will. If you have nothing to say, just put your favorite Schmidt quote in the comments.
Yes.
Literally. All day, son.
That's my favorite.
Mine is 29. Or Schmidt happens.
Should we just go upstairs and watch New Girl?
Yeah, okay. We're going to go watch New Girl.
All right, we love it.
So,
thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to this crap.
Yep.
We love it.
We'll see you next time with Scythe and Sparrow.
All right.
All right.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Bye.